Bam, going live tonight. Welcome to the show. We was gonna go earlier, but I had to make some provisional changes because a couple of the platforms that I've been on for a minute don't like what I have to say. I think they're watching me or something. And my grandma used to do that. I didn't know what the hell that meant, but I think I got it now. They're watching me. So I just checked it down. I'm over on Rumble, and they were the only ones. Now I'm also on Odyssey, but I haven't got my page set up on Odyssey yet, so I need to get that done. Rumble was the only one that didn't demand to be removed from my original stream that I was going to have at 9 o'clock at the top of the list. Yeah, talking about something. I don't know. I know what it was. I can't figure out what it was that was making them grumpy. I don't know. That's my story. And I got blueberries. Oh, these jumbo blueberries. Jocelyn, my granddaughter. I'm talking to my grand Jocelyn. These are these. Oh, yeah, my granddaughter Jocelyn, and well, all of my grandkids like to eat my food. But she likes to cook too, and so she makes a few recipes. We're going to get some of her recipes over on the other channel, over at Coach's Kitchen. That's where we got the other food and stuff. And I have a whole hard drive with food on it, but I can't access it. I got to take it to these people, have them take it off, and I got a lot of videos over there. So, yeah, they've been a little grumpy about some stuff. So, I'm fine with doing the check down because we still talking about some stuff. We're gonna check down and we talking about some stuff. And I got my police hat on. Just in case I have to take something from some people on my way. In case I have to take some drugs or something. Okay, no, I'm just no. Okay, what's it mean when you put your police hat on and they reach behind their back like that? Okay, sorry. Let me take the police hat off. I had to check down, not be so serious tonight because they always they're trying to interfere with the program, but they ain't interfering. They're not interfering because we're learning how to do what we need to do from the real-time feedback from everybody. From everybody. I do wear my police hat though. Like when I stay in an Airbnb someplace or in a hotel or whatever, and I go for a walk or something, I wear my police hat there because, well, it depends on what neighborhood I'm in. Some places, I grew up in the hood, so I know where these places are. Okay, I know where these places are. So, I mean, when I get to them, I know if I'm there. So, anyway, we were going to talk about the updates to the coaching thing or whatever tonight. And okay, so let's just get the. I don't know. My doctor used to say the unpleasantries out of the way first. Yeah. Coach AC, you can wear my police hat if you need to wear it or whatever. Because I just wanted to say I owe you an apology. I apologize for being a little jumpy today. Yep. So Coach AC contacted me, and in her message she mentioned the quiet title or something. And when we did our coaching thing, we weren't going to do none of that stuff or worry about that. But she got all this stuff done, and she went over there. She watched some videos and learned how to do a supplemental pleading. That's how you change what you want to do to anything that you did before. You do a supplemental pleading instead of asking them for, and I had another word there, but I'm trying to learn how to, instead of asking them or whatever, you do the supplemental pleading. If you want to learn about it, you just go to Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, kissing their butt, asking for an amendment, scroll down to the bottom of that, all the way down to that tiny ass number. And then you'll see supplemental pleading. To file a supplemental pleading, you have to add a count, add a body. Oops, I get the fingers. I'm still getting yelled at. Add a count, add a body, or both. And they have to be connected to the same reason why you're there in the first place. So you could do a supplemental pleading and change your whole thing. So anyway, Coach AC did a supplemental pleading, and she crushed the stuff that she had going on in probate court. And that was outstanding. Okay, but then she contacted me to let me know, to thank me for doing what I was doing, because she learned how to do that and she crushed that. And I didn't read the whole thing because, whatever. And so, I like, okay, wait a minute, what the hell are we doing over here? And, so next thing you know, we're on the phone. So I was asking her, so why is that good? I'm just trying to make sure. I mean, she was excited, and she was excited because she was leaving me a review and thanking me for the stuff. But she mentioned that one word. That one word, the quiet title. Anyway, what she said was, since I'm leading you guys down this hole, pit, because there's not a hole. There's a lot of room in here, all right? Down this pit, what she said was that, and I don't know exactly what she filed, but she did a supplemental pleading, and she challenged or did something, and a probate court judge recused himself. Now, so that was great. Okay, so the great part of this is that even though she didn't do exactly what we had in the program, she did what's in the program. Okay? Stopping the state court process. Bam! Stopping the state court process. So think about it. So if you take care of that over there too, not only does it stop that process, it lets them see that you ain't the same person that they was pushing around over her last time. Okay, you're a different person because your legal team helped you learn some stuff. And now it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different. Coach Jay, I apologize. Thank you. Coach Jay is protecting her mom's property. And when they called me, her mom was right there. I had talked to both of them. And her mom was like, and I think she was 200. Okay, no, her mom was like 90 or 91, 90, I think she said. Okay. And I have another person another coach in the group who's 86. He used to be the oldest one, but we had to chunk him to second place right now because Catherine's running the top. So, and her and Coach Ed are getting it done over there. And one of the things that we talked about was, you guys all know what this stuff has to do with, right? So I'm just not going to say the word because they get. So we figured out the one package that has the 2 notices in it, that's really, really not very expensive. And then there was a couple other documents, but the 2 notices represent what we want, what I'm referencing right now. Okay, that package is perfect to protect any projects that you may be working on around your house. Y'all keep up with me. The new strategy is not, I guess, a little wrinkle to the old strategy because we're still using the old strategy, is to I don't know, to make the food taste bad. Did I say food? I did say food. I mean, there's some things that they might shut me off. I get talking to, and this is why I'm going to put my next video. I'm going to address what we're talking about right here and be more clear, because I can be clear in the video. Then I can't talk anymore. They already never make me shut down once. Okay, but okay, let me put it to you this way. When you invest in a property, the way the people do that, when you invest in a property, then, most of the time you have a short amount of time to get that property ready to do whatever you're going to do to it. If you're going to move in it, then you got a short amount of time to get it ready, because you got to get out of over there. You got to, if you're going to rent it out or sell it or whatever, you got a short amount of time. So this new thing that we're doing is, well, making sure that the focus is on that amount of time. I think that came out pretty smooth. Want to make sure the focus is on that amount of time, because that amount of time gets shortened for those people, or something happens that causes the situation to not be very valuable to anybody in a short time frame. Then it's a problem. It's a problem. It's a problem for the buyers. Okay, think about it this way. If there was a notice of conveyance against your property, and then it was followed up with a lis pendens lien, a notice of lis pendens lien. Now, during the notice of conveyance, and oh wait, is that the? I think that's what's going across the line. I need to check to make sure it's the same, because I had to change the names. Oh, okay. So if the property's clouded and there's a dispute on the title, and this whole package is for people that are facing eviction, it doesn't address the foreclosure. Now, it has the word foreclosure in there just because my website or whatever. This package is for the eviction. Now, it does allow you to go into federal court and go after the eviction process in federal court. So you're still getting the same value over there. It's just a whole lot less red tape and numbers and lying and stuff. Because when this goes down, you're going to be using a certified copy of the entire docket sheet from the state court as your evidence in federal court. So it's not going to be about the whatever it was there was protected or whatever. And so when you do it that way, now you have a chance. Now it doesn't cost you very much. And see, this is the sweet thing about this. Is that you get the chance to take control without having to spend the $400 for a federal filing and do all that, serve all the people and do all that before you can go in with the lis pendens. Okay, so what is the difference? Well, the less pendants is structured. You have to have a certified copy of the federal filing, and you use it to attack other people's property, or you could put it on your own. Oh, wait, you wouldn't need to do all that work now. That's how we used to do it, to even put it on your own. But we don't do it that way anymore because we don't have to. So now you can get this other package that's on sale for $99.99. No, I can't even say. I need to eat blueberry. Okay, I'm getting worked up. I ain't talking about the price anymore. And now, not only can you jam them up, you have what you need to file in federal court. Stop. And, if you can't afford federal court, then you can also file in a state court, buy yourself more time. Okay, but the state court operates off of statutes and codes and the non-valid laws. They don't have enacting clauses, titles, or bodies. Okay, they do not have what the Constitution or the federal government mandates must be present to be a valid law. So, but something. This is how we got to where we are now. Sometimes you got to do a check down and do what you got to do to get your punches in. And that's what we did with this. We structured this for the people facing foreclosure eviction process. And most of the people that are facing this process are, don't have a lot of income. So this way it gets your, this is kind of like a little tiny win, kind of, sort of, because now you can stop them, slow them down, make them, make yourself toxic. I don't know what you want to call it. Okay, but when there's a lien against the property, nobody wants to jump in here and hurry up because they got to hurry up and do all this stuff. And if you have the right fire filed in court or continue, then, how long can this last? I don't know. It could. Okay, so here's the thing about the protection part of it. We're already down the hole, okay? Every person, and this is my opinion as a legal coach, blueberry time, every person, those are really good, that owns property should have this package placed in the public record against your property to protect you. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. What's the cost to place something in the public record? Especially if you're in a non-judicial state. I'm just going to break it on down. Especially because if you're in a non-judicial state, then most of the time you lack the opportunity to move it on you in 30 days. Oh, wait. What's this? Oh, yeah. Okay, so the people that invested in the RICO package are the people in the online course. So when I refer to the online course, you guys are the ones I'm talking to. I had to take the RICO name out of it, and I don't really leave it in there. Okay, but y'all know what we're doing and why this started now. And I've had a couple of additions to the package. Scott, welcome to the group. I'm going for the people that invested in that package. I need you guys to email me the review video. Remember, I made that package cheap because, well, for a lot of reasons. Okay, but one of the things that I demanded, okay, well, I'll work on that. Was 2 review videos. I wanted 1 review video after you opened up that lawsuit, because you only got 1 document. And I wanted a video on the power that you felt when you got done reading that document. And then I want an additional video of how these people reacted when you took this down there and you punched it in their face. Bam. Okay, so you guys need to email me. Actually, you need to call me first because I want to do a coaching session to make sure that you're in the right place for the time frame that we need to get started, and that you already got your first punch in or whatever. And if there's an issue with that, so call me. And then on that call, we're going to talk about the fact that you're going to need to send me. You're going to need to email me your review video from the first what I asked, and then I will email you back the password to get into the client hub because I'm going to close it up tomorrow, and then I'm going to start adding some things to it. And the first thing I'm going to add to it is, we're going to add the federal prosecutors RICO manual because that's one of the things that I'm going by, and then there's a couple of other things. The first document I'm going to add to it probably is going to be, now most of you already have the actual lawsuit. I'm going to add the counterclaim, and that's for some of the new people, or if you have, if you have a case against your property. And even if you filed already in federal court, you can still take that counterclaim and jam it in their face over in state court just to have fun. Okay, because that's the guarantee that that I'm throwing on the table around here, that you're going to learn how to have fun, and you're going to learn how to jumpstart your critical thinking process and get some stuff done. So you need to call me so that we can talk, and then you need to email me over the first review video in order to get the password, because the student hub is password protected, and so will be the coaching hub place where people need to go for the coaches. And the super badasses that are getting ready to do this, they need to go there. And that's how that, no, we don't have that set up yet, but we got this first one over here about ready to go. And I think the first thing that we're going to learn, I mean, you guys have been listening to my videos doing all this other stuff, so we're going to learn something fun. The first thing we're going to learn right now, and this could change if some shit happens or something, and we need to and we need to change our focus, which is possible because we roll from the real-time feedback. Okay, but the first thing I think I want to teach you guys is how to look up these people, how to look up the people that's buying your house, their assets, and see who they're connected to. And in some cases, who attorneys that are connected to, and you'll see their, we're going to teach you how to look that stuff up. And most of the time, these people that are doing this have several properties. But I told one of my friends that if it was me, I wouldn't be worried about all of them. And I was going to put my finger up, and she said, you would only be worried about one. You already know which one, don't you? And she said back to me, okay, no, dude, I sound cool when okay, never mind. I got that from Prince. Okay, that's in one of his songs. He has everybody in the audience, singing, and they are screwing. He said, "Oh, it's time to have some fun." And this package allows you to have peace of mind because they can't do a bunch of shady stuff. I mean, they really can't. When you put this package on their thing, they're pretty much locked in, and they can't sell the property. They can't rent the property. They can't refinance the property. They can't do anything with the property. and it gives you time. Gives you time to, to get your punches in. Now, the first thing that I would suggest people using, and I'm going to throw this on the table for anybody that's in a case, even if you're in their conventional, okay, even if you're in their administrative stuff, okay, there's some things you can do. The first thing that I use is fraudulent concealment. Fraudulent concealment is a legal doctrine that tolls the statute of limitations. And I'm just going to give you guys a little, if I can throw this stuff on the table, people see how I coach and how we roll around here. Okay, because that's fraudulent concealment tolls the statute of limitations. Okay, it's a federal legal doctrine that tolls the statute of limitations. We use it as a cause of action in front of the 42 USC or whatever. Okay, so fraudulent concealment. Okay, that opens the door so you can address any of this stuff. Now, you could address it as a supplemental pleading. I already said that anyway. I even worried about this. Okay, but you know what? Bam! Punch them right in the face and shut down what they're going to try and do. That's what we learn. That's the way we learn how to do from the real-time feedback, right? Fraudulent concealment. Okay, so here's the second one. Do a counterclaim. Anytime anybody attacks you and files anything in court that has a case against you, you can go and check the Federal Rules Civil Procedure. I think this is it. Okay. You are not required to answer to a damn thing that they have on the table if you got defenses. That's what it says. But what about, bam, if you got offense? Okay, so coach, what you talking about? Okay, come on, y'all stay with me now. Okay, because I got plenty of blueberry left, so we're gonna be here in a minute. First thing, somebody file a case against me, I'm gonna file a counterclaim. I'm gonna file a counterclaim in their case. Okay, but before all of that, okay, because I ain't trying to have to work hard. I'm going to file a counterclaim, but before I file it, I'm going to add the state to it. I'm going to add the judge to it. I'm going to add them to it. I'm going to add the attorney that started this or the prosecutor. It don't matter. They ain't got no immunity. I'm adding all of them to it as plaintiffs to the counterclaim. And then I'm going to file that in their case for $200 million. There you go. And thank you. I mean, you're welcome. Oh. Did they tell you could add them as plaintiffs? Okay, so, coach, you're talking crazy. Uh-huh. Okay, so what happens now? Well, I don't know. I think you just added them to their own case. Bam! Like a check down. You just added them to their own case. So what does that mean? Well, you know, they can't litigate a case they're a party to, right? They can't represent other members from the same corporation because they're considered a corporation. They can't represent themselves. They can't represent a party. So now you just added the judge to their own stuff. So what happens? Well, I think that I would probably file at least a couple of more documents in the state court because you want to have that whole state court situation to take with you over to federal court. You want to get a certified copy of the take over the state court players. Okay, we got a lot of check down. I don't know how much time we got here. So the state court players can't respond to anything that you get from winningcourtnow.com because see this is another check down people need to be thinking about instead of worrying about case law and all, you know. You stick with the facts, Jack, and it jams up that. I'm just saying. Case law. They can't respond to anything because we use federal case law and federal acts and everything that we put in federal and state court. You know, you can use higher court and the lower court, but you can't go the other way. You can't respond to it. So what does that mean, Coach? Well, if you file something in state court that has, and I'm telling you this, okay, I'm just throwing it on the table because I like to surround myself with people smarter than me. Ain't no way in hell I would learn all this shit. When you okay, so they can't respond. They can't respond to federal case law and federal acts, which are how we bring the criminal liability to the table. They can't respond to that shit with statutes and codes. I got the police hat on. They can't. Okay, so what do? Coach, well, you know, sometimes the judge recused himself, or sometimes they make people sign not as close. I don't know. Sometimes a few people said that they moved it over to federal court. I'm like, well, wait a minute. I put this program together. How they go? How are the state players going to move it? Because they can't move nothing in the first place, right? Or nothing will get done. That's what everybody would be. Now the plaintiffs, the defendants can't move. Okay, so even if they moved it, they still can't respond to federal case law and federal acts with statutes. Okay, let's just break it down. They don't have a federal bar card. Now, nobody got a license. Y'all know my ass ain't about to say that shit. Okay. They don't have a federal bar card. And I haven't seen, I've been doing this for a hot minute, and I ain't had nobody tell me that somebody hired a federal attorney to take on the stuff that we got on on the table. No, I ain't had nobody telling me that. Okay, so that's just, yeah. And if you understand, we're not here to argue their stuff. When you bring the facts to the table, you don't have to argue a damn thing. You don't. And you just have to do the check down. And you need to stay in touch with the real-time feedback. And what we're learning now is that we need to go ahead and we need to use that conveyance package that's going across the bottom of the screen right there. We need to use that package to secure your property to give you a chance to do what you need to do over there. Because I don't think when people come to the table with this fire, well, nothing. There's nothing that I don't know. I'm waiting to see. I'm communicating with people who use the new packages that we got put together, and I have another one. The magistrate, and I don't think they kicked me out yet. I'm still on. I think I'm still on. So they ain't happy about what we talking about today. But you know what? I don't care. I'm over on Rumble now, and I'm also on Odyssey, but I haven't got my homepage set up on Odyssey. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I got like 10 and 12 videos, and we got a couple of people following us over on Okay, so while we're here, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go. Well, we'll say hi to everybody first. See who's out here. Your demand to dismiss. Red Storm 1. All right. So coaching. The judge should be added. Whatever you filed, your thing to dismiss, you should have added the judge to it, the state to it, add them to it as plaintiffs if they brought the action. So like I said, it don't have to be a counterclaim. Okay. We don't roll with limitations around her. It doesn't have to be a counterclaim. Add the judge to your document. Add their ass to their own. Okay, so I keep this simple. Just run the same plays on them that they're running on you. Ow. But they're supposed to be following the stuff that they're not, and they're trying to make you follow it, and you don't have to. So, but you know what? You got it. That's you got to start doing something. But that make it a little tighter for you, or if you get your shit filed in federal court and then get your less pending lien package. I think it's pretty cheap too, and then put a lien on some stuff. No, U.S. codes aren't any good, man. U.S. codes. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about because I don't do their case law. Like I said, we just driving. Okay, you don't need a driver's license to drive unless you're operating in commerce or you're working. If you're working, that's what that means. If you're operating in commerce, but if you're just traveling, you don't need a driver's license because you're not a U.S. citizen. You're not a U.S. citizen. People don't realize there's 2 U.S. citizens, maybe more. I don't know. Okay, but the 2 that I'm talking about are the U.S. government citizen, the fake person. That's all capital letters. Some people reference this one as the straw man, and then there's the real person that has a heart and blood. Most of us have heart and blood. Some don't. So and you were born in a republic state. Okay, nobody can be a U.S. citizen. I said this one time in the stream, and people got really pissed off. I know there was haters trying to disguise themselves. They just can't. Okay, nobody can be a U.S. citizen because nobody can be born in a fake corporation. Yeah, but statutes and codes don't have valid law, so we don't spend no time with that. Thank you for coming to the stream tonight, Red Storm. You look like I don't think I've seen your fancy glass thingy coming out like that. That thing shoot laser. Oh, that's pretty cool. Of the relevant matters. Yeah, that's too hard to understand right there. We just sued her ass. So. Okay, sorry. Oh, yep. Somebody brought up the magistrate judge package that we got together too, and it's It's on there and it's on sale also. So you guys should go and check it out. And I got the judge now. They're playing hot potato and trying to send my stuff all around. So we're going to be coming up with a few more documents on the website that are very inexpensive that can help get some things done. Now, the coaching, we're going to go and look at the coaching thing before I leave. The coaching, keep it simple, Fred. Thank you, Coach Frederick. You got that right. My coach, his name is Denny Hardin, DENNYHARDIN. He's a private banker. He has a fancy website. He's the one that started me. He used to have this saying called "Keep it simple, stupid." He'd like read over my stuff and then he'd look at it and say, "Keep it simple, stupid." No offense. Okay, back to the drawing board. Okay, but yeah, that's what we do. Keeping it simple. Keep it simple. Stick to the facts. Okay, don't get caught up in all of those case law and all of that stuff that pulls up, unless it's constitutional stuff and it's very freaking old. In my opinion, it's stuff that they have put in everywhere so people can go see that they want to see, whatever. That's So I'm spending a lot of time now. We stick with federal case law and federal acts as opposed to this other stuff. And even with the federal stuff, you have to make sure that it's connected to the common law side of things because the federal there's an administrative side on the federal too. Mm-hmm. So let's go and check out. I made a few changes on the coaching thing, and that's so the other thing, Frederick, we were going to talk about tonight is why I was late because all of these platforms, well, not all of them, YouTube and and Twitter and well, Rumble didn't, and Odyssey I haven't got my page finished over there yet. Okay, so we were going to come on and we were going to talk about that package that has the 2 notices in it, and so yeah, they got grumpy. So I'm gonna do a video on that. We're just gonna keep this simple, and I'm going to show you guys the creator of the boundless universe. I don't know. You can go and take a look at it, on the website. I don't think there's language concerning a conspiracy. I think I have it structured the way I need it, and people are investing in it, and it's stopping everything. So we stick to the reason why they were able, and you could throw the conspiracy in there if you want to, but you really, I mean, you do whatever you want after you get your package. So I don't have a conspiracy in there because I don't need it, but you can put it if you want to. Keep in mind that it fits because that's how I used to get out of having to do state of claim, but now stating the claim is real easy because all I got to do is connect all accounts or whatever. And so, but you can add conspiracy if you want to after you get your package. I did have that in the older package, but the newer ones we have more stuff like we're going after them with federal acts, which are criminal laws that they're violating, like the Tucker's Act, the Administrative Procedures Act of 1946, which you have to put that on there if you look this up. And don't expect to find it real soon in the day. And then we also use We also use the Foreign Agent Registration Act, which is another federal law that they're all in violation of. So we don't have time for that. So we go. So when they're all in violation of the federal laws, they don't have to worry about it. That's kind of how I wrote it. Keeping it simple. Okay. So this is the top of the page. And you can scroll down. That's the quick category that that the people with ADD need to have, I guess. But that doesn't really tell you much. But you can see right here. Now, one of the things is I lowered the price. I lowered the price down to like 9 million instead of 12. Or excuse me, that was that was another. Okay, sorry. It's the blueberries. Okay, it's the blueberries. So I lowered the price from 75 to like $49.99. And one of the reasons I did that for the other changes that I did was I don't originally I was gonna help coach people in their system too if they needed to do stuff, but we had to like chunk that for a couple of reasons. One is because the first few people that called me were like totally nutty, and they were not trying to listen to anything. And number two, it became apparent to me that there's no value in me helping you in their system because it's shit, and you're going to get crushed anyway. Okay, so and that's what regular attorneys do. I can't do that. What I can do is help the people that have invested in this program that need more help than I can give everybody because of trying to keep the lights on, do all this stuff, and get everything done with the or whatever. That's who I'm going to provide the coaching to. I'm also going to provide the coaching to people who would like to bring their stuff. Because people call me, oh, your stuff fit my no. My stuff's the fire over here. Okay, that is the poopy stuff over there. You got to bring that over here that's how this works best. So I'm going to help the people who are wanting to bring their whatever it is they're doing over into the non-conventional side, which means that, well, it doesn't mean you have to get my stuff because you can know, if you call me, I'll tell you what you need. I'm not going to tell you but I'll tell you what you need. And, and pretty much how to get it. So that's kind of how that's set up to go. So you'll get, what you need to stop the criminal charges. And I already told you guys at the top of the thing how we do all this stuff. Now, a bunch of fancy shit in the middle of everything, when you're badass, when you're you see when you're a champion, you see the beginning and you see the end. And then you just got to do the damn middle. Whatever it takes to do the middle. Oh, we got a prosecutor package, and yeah, we got a few reviews on that already. Learn how to hold the judge accountable, stop the court process, strategies that slow or halt their proceedings. Well, wait a minute. We just talked about how you add their. We're going to talk about firing your attorney, how to stop the court, how to stop the foreclosure. I'll be coaching on the marriage dissolution situation. How to protect yourself from mental evaluations and other abusive tactics they use to try to beat you down to get you to take the deal. Now, what I don't do what I do not coach is child custody cases. I do not I do not do I do not do children's rights or placements in family court, or I don't have any cases where constitutional rights are the central issue. I don't do. Now, the only reason I got into marriage dissolution because I made this for my family and then I used it myself. So, but that's it. Now, if you have this situation and you're looking at things from stopping the court process instead of X and all this emotional crap, then there's a possibility that you can slide under the radar on your stuff. Okay. Our family did foster care for 17 years. We've had 28 kids, 1, 2, or 3 at a time, in addition to our own 3 kids. And so, that watching adults beat the crap out of each other while the kids, no offense to anybody, because that's just the way I see it. Okay, so that's it. And that's the end of that. So if anybody gets come to the table with this or whatever, then it's going to be a situation and people wonder why I'm grumpy ass. So I've been grumpy ass for a long time now since... Okay, sorry. It's going to be set up right here, $49 an hour, flexible. Now, I don't have the registration form loaded yet. I'm still figuring out what I want to know on it. But I'm just going to go out on the table. So what I'm thinking that I need to know about your case is, one, if it's foreclosure, judicial, non-judicial, if it's criminal, if it's serious time or just traffic, these check down things. Someone called me and they wanted me to listen to things that go across state lines and all. I need to know because y'all know I don't roll like a regular, those people over there. So I need to know what I need to know first in order to get things formulated in my head to handle this other information if we need it. Okay, because most of the time this is about, we make it about the why, not the what. The why they're able to violate you or and whatever. And that almost makes everybody's shit the same. Kind of, sort of. With the difference of variations, criminal, non-criminal, time, not so much time, property, personal, so we can get it in like 4 or maybe 8 8 groups. Okay, so if you're calling me, I'm going to be asking you specific questions to determine the constitutional program and where we need to begin. You don't know what the hell I need, because if you did, you wouldn't need help. Well, maybe you would need help, but I would have to charge you less because you would know. Okay, never mind. Just stay focused, coach. Only after I get us to the gate can I go deeper into your stuff. And it would be nice not to leave your emotions checked at the curb. Because I found when people have their emotions running the show, I don't get the facts that I need. And when I ask for them because they got left out, some people get grumpy. And then there's drama. So I don't deal with drama. I'm fine with grumpy from the start. I'm going to be like, okay, so I met this person and we were talking and the person said, we don't have a situation. I'm going to automatically assume that you have good intentions. Yeah. Oh. So that's what I'm going to try to do too. I'm going to try and assume that you have good intentions, and so. But I need to know what I need to know, and y'all need to just relax. Okay, so here's the thing: if you're calling me for help, I'm not going to do it the way you think that it needs to be done. More likely than not, I'm probably not going to do it the way you think it needs to be done. And so, if you pay for a coaching group, for a coaching session, and you don't like it, I know, maybe I'll give you that credit card package when I get, I'm about to have it on the website for like $5. Okay, so Client Access Hub, we're going to get that opened up here in the next day or so. All of the people that got into that invested into the RICO package are, you guys are the online course people. So you guys need to contact me. You need to give me a call. Okay, don't text me. Give me a call so I can hear your voice. Write your name down and then we can get started from there. Then you'll need to email me a copy of my review video that we agreed that I needed to get to make sure that there was value in giving you that package. And then at that point, I'll give you the password to get into the Client Hub so that you can get in there and start seeing. And so this is how the coaching. And so what I'll do is, the way I have this set up is right now I don't have the button connected yet, and so I take in payments through Cash App, which is my favorite because it goes straight to my bank account. And if you pay with Cash App, then I got something extra I'm going to hook you up with too. Then we also have PayPal payment link, and you can also pay me with Zelle from my phone number. Now, until I get the button hooked up, if you invest in anything any of the new packages that I haven't got the button hooked up to yet, you make your payment here and then call me. Just give me a call. My number is 913-240-02 right there. I mean 0227. Sorry. I'm going a little fast. 913-240-0227. Right there. Okay. And then I'll go ahead and make sure I check your name off, so we'll be ready to go. And you'll have access to the club, to the hub when I give you your. And yeah, this is the course that I'm talking about right here. I don't use that. I can't use that word RICO in my title for the ad. Yep. Yeah, Frederick has been having some fun with some stuff over here. And that's the way it's set up. You just change the red font. You don't have to worry about the case law. You don't have to worry about the conspiracy stuff. You don't have to worry about the counterclaim. Okay, because when you add those people to this stuff as plaintiffs to their own stuff, that's a wrap. You don't even have to worry about the counter. You don't have to worry about worrying about conspiracy or whatever, because you just add all of them to their own stuff, and there ain't a damn thing they can do. And okay, so if they figured out how to let's just do the check down. Say they figured out how to hire another state attorney from over there, because had to happen. So we just do another supplemental pleading, and at the state bar association. I don't like to have to work a whole hard day. I'm old now. Shit, I'm old. I ain't trying to have to work hard unless I have to. I'm willing to do whatever it takes if I have to. supplemental pleading at the State Bar Association. Bam! No, take care of the rest of that. There's so many ways of keeping it simple and crushing their asses if you just get your head out of their conventional restricted crap. Okay, so one of the other things that we do too, that we've done, in my sister's case, and I have a whole bunch of videos about this. That was a lot of fun. In my sister's case, the state judge terminated the foreclosure. It was a judicial foreclosure. Terminated it. And then what, 3 attorneys had already had to go sit down. So a 4th one came up, and turns out this 4th one was a junior partner. And he was a partner and went back to law school. Okay, Coach, how do you know this shit? Because I looked his ass up. Listen, I'm going to teach you guys how to do it in the first minute. Okay, he went back to law school and taught, and before that, he worked in a tattoo shop. That was when, okay, never mind. Anyway. Okay, so the attorney, the new owner or partner, whatever, decided just to ignore all of that stuff and ignore the judges. And just continue with the foreclosure process, like, well, they didn't go over too well with me. Neither did with my sister. And so, okay, so, there was some back and forth, and then we moved the case over to federal court. Not file it first over there. We moved their case because the judge had already jammed us up and we actually paid the $200 to file in state court too. And then they kept acting stupid. And so we moved that over to federal court. And then they were trying to say it was still connected over there or whatever and just being stupid. And it said it was terminated. Okay. So what we did was, when we filed our federal lawsuit, we added the attorney's property as damages. And so his wife was a signer on the property. So we had to serve her a copy. Actually, we added her to the state case first, and him. And then we had to serve her a copy of the counterclaim because we did the counterclaim thing. And then they wanted to be stupid, so we filed our own case in state court with them both on it. And so still wanted to act stupid even after the case got terminated. So, so moved to the federal court. And so, okay. So then we decided to just file our stuff in federal court. But before we did that, when we added the attorney's wife to their stuff on the state level, they were really freaking mad. They were really, really angry. And they had the police call my sister, and they was complaining about some of the emails that I may have sent over to my sister to copy and paste and send over to them. And they asked my sister if she could send her stuff to the attorney's office or to the court. And my sister said, well, if I'm suing them for their property, I have to serve all the owners. At least they got served and I paid all this money. All they did was they just tacked their crap on the front of my house. I was never even served. And so, yeah. Oh, they were pissed. okay, and this is what I this is what I asked my sister. I said, could they be any more mad? Could it be madder? Could it be any more madder? She looked at it and said, oh, Lord. Answer was yes. When we filed in federal court, I didn't put the state attorney, the one that had the fancy, that got the license and came back, and this probably was his first ass whooping. Case. Oh, I did not put him on the federal lawsuit. And my sister's like, what? Why'd you leave attorney off? I said, well, sis, I'm thinking I was feeling kind of sad for the attorney. I was feeling bad. I was feeling bad for the attorney. Okay, and this I don't do this very often. I guess when I have my police hat, I have a heart, or no, I'm missing a heart. Okay, maybe I should. Okay, so I didn't put the attorney on the federal filing because because I already knew that the attorney was getting his butt kicked every day when he got home. And I sent his wife a letter in the service to let her know that we already added the State Bar Association. So my suggestion to her was to find herself a federal attorney because none of his friends are going to be able to help her. So yeah. We didn't add him because every day when he gets home, his butt is getting kicked. Well, that's not the only reason. Okay, now his spouse is being held accountable for his BS. And he's not even there. Oh. Yeah, that was pretty powerful. And I can't talk about that anymore. I can't talk about it. It passed. It passed that. But I can't tell you. My sister's really happy, and she bought me. She bought me a freaking steak from Chicago Steakhouse. A freaking, oh Lord have mercy. They're really, really good too. And the seasoning that they used, the Chicago Steakhouse seasoning, is like one of the best seasonings that you can put on steak. We're going to be talking about that on Coach's Kitchen. Coach's Kitchen is the other. It's the other YouTube channel where we do cooking stuff, and we have all of the fire that Coach's Kitchen. Y'all need to get over there and subscribe to Coach's Kitchen, and then we're also over on Rumble. Good evening, Stephen. Stephen, welcome to the show. Glad to have you. Thank you, Solar. Yeah, all right. He said if all of that. As we know, no, man, they're gone to bed now, right? Okay, I know what you mean, man. I know what you mean. I just have to, people get mad when I start being silly or whatever, and when you're bringing a fire that's kicking these people's ass, you can have fun. You ain't got to be serious all the time, act like you're about to die because they're the one that got a foot on their neck. Mm-hmm. So this package is going across the screen right there. That's the best package you need to protect your property, even if you're not facing a situation or facing foreclosure or anything. And there's our website, winningcourtnow.com. That's where you get the fire that you need, protect your due process. Mm-hmm. Gonna let that roll across the screen for a while. Okay, you know what? We're gonna do another screen share. Okay. There's okay. This okay. There's okay. This is over on Rumble. Okay. You guys can copy and paste that. I'll put a link. This is over on Rumble. Okay. You guys can copy and paste that. I'll put a link. This is over on Rumble. Okay. You guys can copy and paste that. Okay, we're too smart for our own britches. Okay, solar is bringing some fire right here. What do you do when a federal judge denies a change of venue to the federal claims in the blue state? So are you talking about the court of federal claims? I don't know the federal claims in the blue state. I don't know what the last part of that, how that works, but I don't really need to know because, and this is why some people get grumpy. You don't need to know all of this stuff, whatever. Okay, so let's just talk about the first part of this. When the judge denies whatever. Okay, we don't need to know whatever's the rest because it's all the same. If the judge denied it, it's a problem. And here's why, Solar. The judge denied it in an administrative setting, not judicial. Okay. Let me put it to you this way. If the judge did not provide a finding of facts and the conclusions of law, they just had your ass in an administrative setting and you have nothing to appeal. You need those two things to file an appeal. And the funny thing is, you could tell them, hey, I'm grumpy. I want to file an appeal. Here you go. There's paperwork. Sit down. Here's a pen. We'll help you. We'll help you with that. Oh, but you tell them, look, the judge violated my due process, and so I'm just, well, you need to get an attorney. Oh, you just really helped me over there, but I need an attorney to help me. I don't think either one of y'all help. Either one of y'all asses help is gonna. Okay. So anytime you're violated, then the supplemental pleading. Remember, we talked about it. Well, you weren't here at the top of the show. Supplemental pleading is how we make changes to what you filed or adjustments. And you can go to the Federal Rules Civil Procedure and look up filing an amendment, scroll all the way down to the bottom, right next to that really tiny ass number, and you'll see supplemental pleading. You can to file a supplemental pleading, you have to add a count or a body or both, and they all have to be connected to the original reason why you're in court in the first place. And you can change the whole freaking thing and do whatever the hell you want to by doing a supplemental pleading. So you can do a supplemental pleading, and you can add the judge to it. So we're talking the magistrate judge. Oh, yeah, I got a new package for that. The magistrate judge situation, I got a new package for that, and I think it's still $99 because I got the magistrate judge denying my service because I didn't send out the consent form. Okay, so the consent form for magistrate judges. Okay, the magistrate judge don't have judicial authority to be involved in your case without consent from all parties. And when I was filing my stuff, the clerk, Nicole, I remember all their names. Okay, I remember all of their names. Nicole told me, Miss Nempsey, she gave me the, I said, what are these? I said, oh, well, I'm not consenting. And I just stared at her. And she said, oh, well, Miss Neighbors, after an uncomfortable amount of dead time, I already know that without consent from all parties, the magistrate judge has no authority to be involved in your shit, in your story. Okay, so they're going to block my service in Arizona, and I'm in Kansas. It was, because I didn't send out those consent forms. So I put together a package that I'm finna jam the magistrate judge ass up with, and I got it on the website for $99. So if you might want to save yourself some time. Yeah, okay, so so now here we are. What are we gonna do now? Get another judge, their buddy, same one to have lunch with. We don't even, in all of our stuff now, we already know that they can't respond to a damn thing that we put on the table in the state court. They can't. And if they think they can get another turn down the street, we'll just do a supplemental pleading, add the Bar Association of a state to it, and now they're all screwed. It's a wrap. We know they can't. They can't respond to it because they can't respond to statutes and codes. They can't respond to federal case law with statutes and codes. So it's a check down at the gate. We don't have to worry about all this other stuff. Okay, so anytime the federal judge denies you and they don't provide a finding of facts and the conclusions of law, then you need to sue their ass. It's plain and simple. Anytime they violate you, the only way to hold them accountable is to sue them, not file an appeal, not do this or not do that. Just sue their ass. That's kind of how we come out the gate adding the state, because the state's the one paying their asses. The state's the one paying them. The state's paying the judge, right? The state is the one trying to take your property. The state is the one paying the judge. The state is the one that's supposedly licensed these fools, but we know that they don't have no license. But the state's paying their asses. You can't tell me that it ain't the state's the one that's paying. And the judge has conflict of interest at the gate. Yeah, Frederick, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. Sounds like he's doing their conventional thing, and you can make it a while or whatever, but it's a rough ride, and you get punched in the face a lot. Thank you, Frederick. And Frederick has almost almost everything that I mean, especially the new stuff. And Frederick's been having some fun making these people sweat. He said they're running from him now. They don't want to talk to it. I don't want to talk to his ass no more. Solar, you can go to my website if you want to, man, and I mean, you can go and check out check out their website to see what we have to offer. And if you have any questions about what's on the website, just call me. I'll answer any questions. You sound like you already know what this ain't your first rodeo, so I don't think you're gonna really need like coaching. Now I provide coaching for the packages at Twitter at coach_ neighbors_ or something. I know it's on the website. And that's where I do the general coaching. If you invest in a premium package, then we have a protocol on the phone where you leave me a message and I get back to you when I can. So you don't necessarily need the coaching, but if you invest in a package, man, with what you've been doing already, I'll be glad to give you a little kind, if you need how to get this. Once you see what we got on the website, you'll probably understand what we're doing, especially after being in our thing. Because and then taking these punches in their program, the administrative rules. Okay, so the court rules that they use are the rules that they come up with from the local rules from each location, and they're designed to violate you just like they're doing. And so that's all part of a part of how we're getting around putting up with that shit, because right now I'm making a class of documents and I'm using them for that from the RICO stuff. These fools are trying to play hot potato and sending my shit all over the place, and so I'm putting together I don't know, a stop the court process 101 class of documents to end this the bullshit that they do on the end. And that's the beauty behind what we're doing here. Okay, the real-time feedback from a lot of people, and I don't know how many years. If I start adding up the years, I'm working for like 25 cents an hour, and it's go to the website, man, look that up, and then if you have any questions, just give me a call. We'll I need to know just a little bit more about. Well, you'll be able to see on the website what you'll be able to use for what you're doing, and then I can help you tweak that shit so that you can just burn everybody in. Okay, sorry. I need to. YouTube is probably getting ready to sink in. Oh. Yeah, I don't be playing around, man. man, this new thing that we got going on right now where we're going to be using this notice to do some stuff, man. That's going to be pretty badass. You know, people are going to be able to protect their property and shit without having to. Well, Solar, dude, you have no idea how much I hear people telling me this kind of stuff. No offense, but, you know, you haven't used my stuff. So you can't compare my stuff to what happened in the past with, no offense, but your stuff or whoever's stuff. You can't compare that. And I don't, so you got to understand also that it ain't about one thing. Okay, it's not about one thing. It's about forcing them to visualize their shared liability. Now, that goes back to the conspiracy thing that somebody brought up earlier, because this is how we do it. And we don't have to do the conspiracy because we add all their happy asses to their own shit as plaintiffs, or to your shit as defendants, depending on, where you at in the program. Yeah, I don't know what his law was about the Administrative Procedures Act of 1946. I don't know. To me, Eric, all those words have to be in there, or you're not talking about the same thing. And when you research it, if you don't put 1946 on there, Administrative Procedures Act of 1946, if you don't put that on there that way, you're going to pull up a Cornell Law Library watered down BS. So. Facts, stick to the facts. It cuts out the arguing. They ain't trying to argue anyway because, if you got the shit right and holding a judge accountable, yeah, we got some things, but I don't want to get into that tonight because they barely let me run with this. They barely let me run with this, but yeah, we got some other ideas, and the difference between the liens, the Liz Pendens lien, that's on the website, and it's it's not a giveaway, but what it does, okay, that allows you to get a certified copy of your federal filing and use the Liz Pendens lien to put the lien against their stuff, against their courthouse or against the judge's office. We got a judge who owns an office building down the way. On the internet, says 39 residents. And Judge Catherine Thesens, 39 residents. I went down there and looked, and they're not residents. It's a commercial building, and they're all attorneys. So we're suing her for that building. And then, so we also reported her to the IRS because they need to get all that shit worked out before we. This is connected to my foster kids, my ex-foster kids' divorce situation. He used the marriage dissolution document and placed it in Pillar Red. They tried to ignore that shit anyway, and then I got to do the beat down. I got to do the beat down. And yeah. Divorce case got dismissed. Search that shit in YouTube in the search bar on my divorce case dismissed. I got dismissed when we filed against their happy ass in federal court and served them. But we didn't run right over there. We built a nice little certified copy of the docket sheet on the state court that we took with us, and then we went over there. And we're not done with that. So I had to leave town, and I didn't have anybody here that I could trust. So I had to like set that. But we about to get that back up and rolling. So I'm about to get on out of here. Solar, hit me up. Get what you need. We'll figure out what you need to get done. And I got a review video playlist on my YouTube channel too, and guys can go there and if for people who need to see what other people have to say. But keep in mind that like the prosecutor package, they always want you to sign a non-disclosure statement. This is why I asked for two review videos. One, when you first get the package and you look at that fire and you're like, and then I need another review video when you take the shit down there, how they act, how long they spend in the back room back there looking at your shit, trying to get out of filing it. And while we're bringing that up, one of the things too that we learned from the real-time feedback from everybody is when they try to get out of it, don't take it back. Don't take that shit back. Once you give it to them, that's a wrap. Now, if it's deficient and they're not going or whatever, but if they're just mad because you add the judge to it or whatever, that y'all on camera right there taking it out and do whatever the hell you want to, I'm out of here. It's like, I'm gonna do a check down. Okay, I'm gonna do the check down, but I'm not going home with the same shit I brought there to file. And I did the check down one time in federal court, and this is a real long time ago. Okay, so don't be trying to judge me. I did the check down one time in federal court. I didn't even want to be telling y'all this. And the shit I needed to put the stuff in it that they were saying wasn't in it. Okay, I needed to put that stuff in it. But I don't care. All the states violate your due process, man. Statutes and codes are not valid laws. Every state operates all statutes. I did the check down in federal court, and I went in the bathroom, and I left my stuff in the shitter. I just left it in there for other people to read because I was not going back with it. And they was real grumpy about it. Apparently, people in there turned it in. We roll without limitation around her. Okay, I'm just saying. We roll without limitations. Well, that just opens up. Okay, remember, top of the show. Okay, champions, badasses, they see the shit and they see the beginning. We see what the end needs to be. Okay, we see what the end needs to be. And then you got to do that shit in the middle. Whatever it takes to do that shit in the middle to get to what you see the end to be. That shit works great. Except for on shooting free throws in high school. Didn't work that well shooting free throws in high school, but and yeah, same exact playbook. They just changed the names of the courts and changed the things around to be confusing because they can't keep it simple. Because they need to argue. They need to argue, and once the arguing is done, their buddy judge gets to help them. I mean, I don't know. I'm not that smart. I'm not. Yeah, but that's the way I see it. Once the argument is done, the buddy judge gets. That's why we got the state on there that's paying the judge. In the hood, you want to take out the money. Take out the money. And then you take out the people getting paid with the money. And then you take out the people that's actually paying the money. Because the judge is not getting the money first from I mean, okay, maybe that's not a good word to use. Okay. The first person is not getting the money from the second. Second person and first person is third person. The third. Okay, sorry. I think I'm having a mental breakdown tonight. Okay, guys, thank you guys for the value you're sharing your time. And if you're facing a legal situation, you need to get over to the website and see what the options are. If you have questions about your options, then call me. I'll talk to you. I don't want to talk about all the stuff in the past and all this stuff unless I bring that up to make sure that the fire that you get addresses that. But people need to keep in mind that if they violated you, okay, we don't spend a whole lot of time on what they did. We spend more time on why they were able to do what they did, the why they're able to do. That almost makes everybody's shit the same, except for just a few categories, criminal, a bunch of years, criminal, they just screw you over and take your money, but they're not only going to send you to jail for a little while, jam up your work and all of that shit. It's almost like they structured this shit just okay. So how you guys gonna pay for shit if you lose and you got to go over there and go to jail? How you gonna pay for shit? Okay, so they structured that shit. Oh hell yeah! Here's the form. Pay that shit so you can get your happy ass to work in the morning. Well, now you ain't got to do that shit. Okay? I got everything to get what you need. Just go over there and get it when you get off work. Because you still need to take your happy ass to work. The system is structured to do exactly what it's doing. Think about it. Let's go start out with the property. They do it. Okay, so the state statute mandates that your property is supposed to be, that your deed is supposed to be delivered to you. The property transfer statutes mandate your deed is supposed to be delivered to you. And it's not conveyed, yada, 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 and some other shit or whatever until it's delivered. But that's not what they do. They do what they call their constructive delivery, and they register that shit in their office. And then they send you a fake ass copy. Okay, wait a minute. And then once that shit is registered, it allows the first illegal lien to be put on your property. And this is my opinion. YouTube and the rest of y'all sissy asses, this is my opinion. The first illegal lien. Okay, look at it this way. If there were several people who own property, all of the owners will have to be present to sign that lien, right? Both the voices on both sides are agreeing. Okay, so the fact that the alleged lender accepted the signature from your happy asses proves that you own the property already. I'm not that smart. And that's what I tell attorneys when they start talking shit in my face or trying to, make like I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so, let's just take it a step further. Once the property is registered, that allows the first illegal lien. The first illegal lien on your property, and this is my opinion, YouTube, the first illegal lien on your property was the mortgage lien. It was illegal because you already owned the damn property, or they wouldn't have accepted your signature on the shit. I mean, that's I had to keep. Can I get an amen? Oh, sorry, it's Saturday. It's about to be Saturday, not Sunday. Okay, so let's just step back a bit. When they register it, and I figured this out working with my friend Julie, When they registered your property, they call it a constructive registration. What the hell does that mean? It didn't say constructive registration in the statute that said they're supposed to deliver that shit to your house. So I looked it up. Oh, I understand now. Constructive registration means, and it has something to do with a different situation. Okay, but what that means is that once that property is registered, everything about that property before it was registered is done. We ain't talking about that. Don't even bring none of that shit up. Constructive registration means from here forward is this. What are you talking about, Coach? What got done? When your property went into their illegal registration system, it was considered private property. And private property is not to be taxed, and it says that in the Constitution not once, but in 2 different places. So once they get your property registered, they reclassify your property to one of their 3 designations, which generally are commercial, agricultural, or residential. And residential actually means it's the property of a government official. Had somebody telling me on that one time, dude, look your shit up. Okay, I know because I looked it up. Now, in Lawrence, Kansas, they said they got 13 classifications. I'm like, oh, Lord, have mercy. Oh, hell no. I did not look that shit up. I ain't going down that hole. They reclassify your property for the sole purpose of taxation. Okay, so now, and this is the question that I asked last. I'm not done talking, though. This is the question I asked last to the attorneys or people talking shit, because I'm not that smart, so I'm just going to keep it simple. So I always ask them, if the deed was not registered in their office, would they be able to verify that there was a mortgage lien against your property? No. For anybody that I don't, that's my opinion. My opinion is no. No. No, there's if your deed now, back in the day before, I don't know, 1933 or whenever they went in statute and code or whatever, I don't know, back in the day, you know, your deed was kept in your Bible or in your gun cabinet underneath in the firebox or in your mattress with your money, I don't know, somewhere. It didn't have to be in their office registered. And if anybody wanted to like take over your property, they had to come to the door with their shit that was file stamped and dated prior to yours. You'd be like, dude, whip your shit out. No, oh hell no, man. You need to get your ass off my property. You see no trespassing sign? No. That's the way it's supposed to be. Oh, but that's not the way it is. Oh, the loan? There never was a loan. What they did was they created a security with that deed. They stamped paid to the order of on it after y'all asses left the table. And the bank vice president usually signs it, or Linda Green, robo-signers, a bunch of people. Oh. And then it's processed through the Federal Reserve for electronic credits. So they never made you a loan. That shit was, the alleged loan was generated with your signature. And this is the stuff that we address in the premium foreclosure defense packages. We address that. 6 missing things. Yeah, in that premium package, you're saying there's 6 missing things, and Scott he just joined, invested in the foreclosure defense premium package, $1,500 package. There's 6 missing things. that you're, in addition to the 42 USC due process, in addition to the other federal laws, whatever. There's 6 missing things, and these things are missing from the contract that they're using. And you agreed that you and the bank agreed to these 6 missing things. And I don't know all of them, but I remember the first one. Well, 2 of them. First one is that in this lawsuit that you get from me, you're saying one of the 6 missing things that you and the bank agreed to, that the attorneys altered on the paperwork, is that you and the lender agreed that the borrower would be repaid, and the money was generated with Joe's signature. So you're the borrower. There's another one. One of the other things on there is that you and the lender agreed that the deal would be done according to the GAAP accounting principles. Oh, they're they're trying to dodge that punch, because they can't say that it was, because it wasn't. They can't say that it wasn't, because then they'd be admitting that they violated federal laws and whatever. Check down. Check down is real powerful if you know the facts. The check down. Yeah, and then when you get down there, little parties to it. Oh. Yeah, so get with this, because like I said, we don't. Stop what, Gabby? I'm talking about a whole bunch of different things. So, are you talking about? Are you talking about them registering your deed? No. If you let them know that you know about that before you sign and get that property and do whatever, then they're not going to do the deal with you. They're going to say you're trying to get some shit for free, because that's what they're trying to do. But yeah, so the property tax package has what you need to sue them for the illegally property tax situation. That package has 2 lawsuits in it. People don't take the time to read it. It also has a 42 U.S.C. 1983 foreclosure defense lawsuit in the property tax package too, because I got tired of trying to explain to everybody the difference. It doesn't matter if it's judicial foreclosure, non-judicial tax foreclosure, whatever foreclosure. As long as it says foreclosure on the end, it's a wrap. People know which. Okay, you know what? The hell with it. I put them both in the package, because I'm going to turn that package into a property management down the road anyway. So 2 lawsuits are in the property tax package right now. And so the goal is, Gabby, to get your deed out of their office. That's okay. The number one goal for most people is stay in your property. If you're, facing a foreclosure situation. And then the number 2 goal is get your deed out of their office. Because if you don't get your deed out of their office and force them with the fire that you get from winningcourtnow.com, going across the bottom, force them to deliver your deed. If you're not, in a situation where in foreclosure, in the foreclosure, then one thing is to keep your family in the house. That's the number 1 thing. And then number 2 is get your deed delivered and your property information removed from their databanks. And people don't realize that once your deed is registered, and this is my opinion, YouTube. Every state has a registered association deeds office. And some states call it something different, a little different. And in my opinion, that's where your property, that's where the registration starts. In my opinion, from there, your property information goes out all over to realtors, foreclosure.com, anybody from in a foreign country. It also goes to the land bank. There's a land bank. We found that out in Shelby County, Tennessee, where Darren Woods was jamming these people up trying to take his grandma's house. Jammed them up. Channel 5 did a big thing. They didn't talk about the lawsuit that he got from over her, but that's all right. What they did talk about was total fire. They did, and I watched the whole thing all the way to the last thinking second. 400 houses were sold for property tax delinquency in Shelby County, Tennessee. And of those 400, like 35 of them were delinquent. And nobody knew where the money was. I knew where the money was. Channel 5 knew where the money was. Action 5 News knew where the money was, because that's how I knew. I watched their whole thing. And at the end, the interview, one of the dudes from the city, we don't kick people out of their houses. We just sell the houses for whatever the value is. So it's not a sore eye in the community, whatever. And then they showed these people $38,000 for their property. It got sold at auction for $1,800 to someone in another country through the land bank. What? Shit. Oh, there's a land bank? And I've been doing this for a long time. There's a land bank. I wonder how the land bank will react if I put that list penance lien on the land bank's ass. I don't know. And their assets. Or, maybe I don't want to go after the big giant one. I just get the little one and put the lien against the recorder of deeds office and all of their assets. The less penance lien against the recorder of deeds office and all of their assets. Oh, that means you would own all of the deeds. I think that's where they are. I'm not sure. There might be in a land bank, huh? Oh, yeah, I always dreamed of doing that. Jamming up the registered deeds office, including their assets. Y'all see how my head work. And then, because they ain't gonna just give me stuff. Okay. So then we're just gonna have to foreclose on their ass. Oh, the list penance lien, certified copy of the federal lawsuit, lien them, and then I would just go ahead and start the foreclosure process, because they're gonna stall. So I would just go ahead and start the foreclosure process against their ass right when I put the shit down, serve them all, and let them all know. Wow. And see, this is part of how I roll over her. Okay, so they can bring it. I had a young lady that was grumpy and she told me, "Oh, your stuff don't work." Well, number one, how you haven't got to the end of the road yet. Okay. And number two, if your ass still in the house, maybe it is working. Okay. And number three, this is not conventional. This is not okay. So if they tell me to go jump in, what are you gonna do? Just like someone said at the top of the show, what are you gonna do? So is it, well, the judge didn't provide a fact of finding and conclusions of law. So we're just gonna handle that. If they do something else, then we'll figure out something else. We have a lot of feedback from a lot of people over the years about different ways. You know, and the thing about it is, for me, I'll be talking to somebody over here about something, and then somebody over here about something else. Oh, wait, there's something that connects the two. Now we're getting back to the real-time feedback. And then my head puts that shit together. I'm a freak. I love my job. I ain't even gonna lie. Sometimes I'm a little too passionate, like, you know, with AC. But I explained to AC that if I'm passionate, it's because I care. It's because I care. And sometimes I have to go, okay, so I can't run a lap, so I can jog about a block, maybe a half a block. I can't run, but I can walk 3 or 4 miles. So I can walk some laps if I have to, if, you know. I step outside of my passionality, my passionlessness. Okay, I'm making up new words now. But I don't have a problem apologizing if I get too coachy. Or if I assume stuff. That's, you know, you're not supposed to assume stuff. But we worked it out. Yeah, Stephen, you got that right. As a matter of fact, I have a statute that says the banks are not allowed to lend the depositors money. I mean, just thinking they did. They lost that shit, they'd be. Yeah, I figured that's what you was talking about, Gabby. So I just went down that road right there. And yeah, that's the goal. One of the goals of being in my program. And it doesn't matter if you're in it for foreclosure or property tax, or, I mean, if you're in it for a property situation, then even the eviction document that we just put together to do the conveyance or whatever, and then to sue them in federal court for the eviction process. That was the one that was running across the screen earlier. That, you know, so now you're still getting to sue them. Okay, and what we do is we demand that the judge, we demand the federal judge order their asses to the settlement table. Okay, because they didn't respond. They ain't not responding to a damn thing that you get from here on the state court level. And they don't have a federal bar card. And even if they did, they still wouldn't be able to, you know, it's a waste of the damn court's time. That's how I would, you know, I'm concerned about the court's resources right now. So we need to just go straight to a settlement conference, right? Because their happy asses couldn't respond over there. They still can't respond over here. And even if they did, it'll be bullshit. But I know that Joe happy ass judge ain't going to get in the middle of it. Hey, that's one of the beauties behind being in this program. Okay, you can talk some trash because you can talk some trash because you're about to burn the ass. So you can talk some trash, and I got no problem with that. Oh yeah, they call me Coach the Neighbors, Coach. They call me Coach. I know they call me Coach something. One dude got mad, called me a damn penis head. Called me a penis head. He must have been really old. Called me a penis head because he couldn't understand why I was helping the poor. And you know, he was obviously a dumbass attorney, and he was dumb because I'm not that smart. Okay. He couldn't understand why I'm helping the poor. I'm like, well, the rich people don't need no damn help. So, There's only the poor to hell because the rich people don't. Okay, so maybe I'm one of the poor people. Maybe my grandma who raised me taught me never to forget where the hell I came from. Mm? But I ain't always gonna be poor. I don't think. Y'all need to send me some money. Okay. Oh, Steve, you don't have to send me no money because you got me started on this. So you're good. I'll give you a pass, but the rest of y'all. Okay, so everybody here is good because y'all came to support me. So the rest of your people need to send me some damn money. Okay. YouTube's gonna kick me off for that. If I'm still here. Well, I'm still here right now, I think, because I still see a check up here. But I know they ass ain't happy. Is there a difference between the title and the deed? I don't know, creator. I would have to see them. Oh, I would think in my head, probably not, but I don't know. I have to see them. It could be the title. It could be the mortgage. Sometimes they monetize all three of the documents. Or I don't know. Modern Money Mechanics said that when they do turn into security and process to the Federal Reserve, that they're granted 9 times the amount that goes in a demand deposit account. 9 times the amount. Yeah, I tried to sue them for that when I first learned how to do this. Oh, they got really, really grumpy, and the attorneys started talking crap. And the funny thing was, the night before court, I read the whole entire mortgage document. I read the whole thing, every word on the pages. And on page 22, it said that I agreed to pay all of the attorney fees should I go into default. So when I started talking about them paying me back all 9 times the amount that the Money Modern Mechanics said, the attorney jumped up and started objecting. They was getting really mad. And they said that I was trying to drive up the cost of litigation. And then I pointed out that on page 22, right here, just having it highlighted, it said that that I agreed to. Yes, I don't understand what. Well, the judge got mad at me. I don't know why they're always mad at me in court and shit. What the hell? They don't like my last name or something. Okay, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta go eat. I'm getting hungry now, so you guys don't want to see what my brain works like when I'm starving. Thanks for the value of sharing your time.